here we are.
Yeah.
Another Sunday evening, ladies. I hope you are ready for today. Um, I, I, I was gonna say something, but I can't say that now. We're having a Plan B show tonight,
All
Yep.
right, yeah.
so we're going to. I think we're going to talk about the writing challenge,
Yep.
progress report. We
Yes.
kind of put it that way.
Yeah. We're just gonna talk a while. We're gonna chat a while.
That's what we do best.
Okay.
Yo,
And we are still going to do our week in review. And who's going to go first tonight with the
I
weekend?
think you had Victoria on with that privilege.
I threw the paper over this one. Was it me first?
See, that's what you get.
Well,
Yeah, at least wait
That's
till
what I
later.
did, right?
Part.
Victoria, you are first.
I guess so. I gotta come up with something. Let's see.
Uh,
Okay.
Ruth, I didn't. Let me see. Yeah, Ruth, you is second, and
Yep.
I will go last, and then we'll probably come back to you, Ruth, to Well, I don't know. I can kind of open up as to what
Oh, we
we
could.
can talk about this evening. That'll be
Yeah,
fun, right?
that's
That
fine. We
sounds
can do
Let's
that.
talk about Jesus.
good. See,
For me.
so we
Let's talk about Jesus. Okay.
Mm.
How he set me free.
if
Let's
you
talk about...
if you do that and your wall falls down,
Oh, you're right. You're right.
I'm gonna be out for real. Okay,
Ah,
that's it.
no, and I need you to not to do that because I
You're
don't
right.
know. This is not the Ruth
Word to the
show. This is
wise.
not the show.
Yeah. Well, I think we got all of our housekeeping out of the way. Alan, whenever you're ready, you can start.
You can roll up. Roll up.
Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening. You have tuned into Authors Up right here on ALH Broadcasting, which is an affiliate of the Streaming Inspirational Broadcast Network. I am Andrea L. Hines, and I am here with my cohorts, my compadres, my friends in crime.
See,
Ruth Griffin and Miss Victoria E. Henderson. How are you ladies doing tonight?
go
Wonderful.
ahead.
I'm wonderful.
You're
Okay,
wonderful.
good. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, that's good.
I'm feeling good from my head to my shoes.
From you.
I feel like singing, I think.
You do? You want us to turn it into that kind of show?
No, I mean she can
We'll
sing.
say
She
no.
can sing, but
Oh, okay. But
if she does, if we do that, then she has to have backup singers, and I don't do that.
oh, you don't want to be a backup singer tonight.
No. I don't think no one should have to hear that.
Just a little ooh and a ah.
Ruth, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I am as well. I'm good. No need to complain.
All
I
right.
am here and I am glad to be here. And we welcome in Miss Linda Cooks. Linda Cooks is here with us this evening, and we say good evening to her. And we are going to have a little different kind of show tonight, but we're going to start with our week in review. And I think we've got Victoria. Why don't you start us out tonight? What's been going on in the world of Victoria Henderson?
Well, that's a loaded question, but I got a few dates in place, and this past week it was a pretty it was an interesting week. I'm gonna put it like that. I'm not gonna go on all too personal, but two things happened this past week that I thought was really good. And when I did my show Monday night, Living Life Victoriously, I talked about SAD, and I don't know if you guys know what that is. I'm sure you do
Hmm.
know what it is.
Mhm.
Seasonal affective disorder that comes into play when the times change. And I kind of felt a little shift in my own mood. And, as always, I want to give information and support as needed. And I felt if it's something that's going on with me, it's worth talking about because this might be somebody else who doesn't know what it is. And
Mhm.
it's that, like I said, when the times change, you get in a depressed state. And it's a real thing. It's a real thing for some people who, with the longer that you're in darkness, you feel sad, and that's why they came up with seasonal affective disorder. So I talked about that, and it had some good feedback on it, and so I'm glad that I did that. The second thing that I don't think I've told you guys is that I'm going to be a part. I answered the call to be a part of an anthology, which is going to come out in 2024. It's called Joy 365. It's a devotional book. And I will be joining, I think, 364 other authors
Oh
to
wow,
have a devotional. To have
that's
a devotional. And Trey Lynn is part of it. And she had told me about it and invited me to be in it. And I wasn't sure if I should do it. And of course, gave it a matter of prayer. And God made a way. And I'm going to do it. Going to do it.
all
Good.
right.
I talked
Awesome.
to the visionary on the other night. We had a very good talk, and it's amazing. It's going to be amazing. I'm just flabbergasted. I really am. But so look out for that. Joy 365. I'll be. You'll see in my social media. I'll be letting you guys know. How we can pre-order and all that good stuff. So I think it's going to be wonderful. So I'll get to be a part writing a devotional on joy, and that is something I know I can do.
And you
So
said it's coming out. It is coming out 2024.
I believe it said something about I don't know. I'll get all the details when I officially join, which will be this week coming. So um um I don't think they have all the authors that they want because they want an author for each day. So
Mhm.
and then the last call was a few spots left. So um I'm not really sure when the release date is, but I know it's coming. I know it's
that
coming.
is a boy. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
365,
Mhm.
365 authors. Wow.
It is going to be an international bestseller. It is going to be international. Yeah.
That
That
is
I know already because they have people already from all over the globe up to be a part of it already. Males, females, children. So it's
wow.
yeah, yes.
Joy 365. I'm gonna be on the lookout for that one. That sounds
Okay.
good. Good, good, good. And
Thank
was
you,
that
Megan.
was that it? Sounded like you were
That's
on
it.
last
That's
week.
it.
You
That's
might
it.
have some more things.
That's it for me.
That's it for you.
Yes.
And Miss Ruth, how about you?
Well, I had a just a standard week work wise. Very busy week church wise.
Oh yeah.
We were part of the outreach ministry, did a food drive, working on a Christmas toy drive, angel tree, and all of that. So, um, yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of time for anything else, but I had the opportunity yesterday to go support one of our authors, Lucy Matswaka. She had a book reading and signing at a Barnes and Noble in Burlington, North Carolina,
Yay.
and just being there, watching her, yeah, it was just awesome, to be honest. So her book, I think we had her on. We
If I'm a leader.
Yes, the phenomenal leader in me. So her target audience is a little different than say ours.
Okay.
A lot younger, and kids are, kids are honest, and I love them to pieces. And so, you had some kids who were just like, "Oh." okay, I'm sitting down for 30 seconds and then I'm going to get up and then I'm going to go over there and then I'm going to sit down and then I'm going to listen and then I'm not going to listen. We had a
Yeah.
few older kids, one of them was like, okay, read this one because she had her daughter, Alikia there, and she was helping her with the reading portion of it. And, she read the one story that he picked and he was like, well, that was short. And then he just, you know, but no, I mean, all in all, I mean, the kids that did show up, they were just I think they really enjoyed the story. The parents did as well, and then they did the
Yeah.
signing part of it. So I couldn't stay because we had the church, part like 6 from the week. But it was just neat to be there. I got a
That was
chance to talk
nice.
to the store manager and just, because part of my business is the publishing side of it. It
Mhm.
is now, I see the trends. People used to talk about, oh, you got to support local smaller bookstores, but now Barnes and Nobles are setting themselves up to be that local bookstore, and they're opening up their doors to local authors. So I'm like, ooh, opportunity.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So it
Nice.
was an awesome, yeah, I know it was the weekend review, but it was an awesome day yesterday. So I enjoyed it. Yeah.
That's good. Awesome.
Mhm. Yeah.
Awesome.
How was your week?
I don't even know. I don't
Okay.
Oh, come
remember
on.
I don't remember my week. I do remember getting days confused and mixed up. I got up uh, yesterday. I got up getting ready for church, and then
Okay.
and then realized, oh wait, no, not today, not today.
I
So
mean, that meant you slept so good.
my whole week was like that, upside down, topsy turvy, and all that good stuff. But I was just following up on some people that I met at the Renew conference, which was
Mhm.
good. I was glad to do that. Setting up some meetings that I need to do with all of the folks who are involved with ALH broadcasting so that we can
Mhm.
get prepared for 2024. Um, did that, and I am doing something that I never ever do. Joy, joy, joy.
Uh-oh.
Before I go to bed tonight, I am going to begin to put up my Christmas decorations.
Yay!
Let me tell you, I am the person that Christmas Eve, my daughter used to say, you still think it's too early?
Sorry.
Christmas Eve.
Because I
Forget
was
it. Forget
always
it
like,
by then.
we can do it tomorrow. We can do it tomorrow. I'll get to it next week. I'll do it later. But that's what she would ask me on Christmas Eve. You still think it's a little bit too early?
That's
So
funny.
this year I've got everything upstairs. I've got all of my ornaments and things all in place so that I can systematically do this. I know what I'm a tree theme person, so last
Oh,
year it was that pretty royal blue and silver
Uh-huh.
and white,
okay.
and this year it's going to be uh, red and white and silver, but it's also going to have that little black and white, touch to it, little
Nice.
plaid kind of look. So I've got all my stuff together. I bought some candles that I had to take back to the store today, and I thought this is not a good start. But we got those working, so brought them back home and got them all done. So I'm really excited. I am earlier than I anticipated because I had said I was going to start the day after Thanksgiving. And then
Oh.
yesterday I thought, no, I think I'm going to bring all this stuff up because, hey, Angie, because I am in need of joy. I am in
Oh.
need of joy.
Mhm.
There have been a lot of people who are very dear to me who are not doing well, who've got
Mhm.
health challenges, and there's a lot of weighty stuff going on. And then our sister friend that we lost over the weekend.
Right.
So I need something to get
Right.
my head out of that space and get me into a happy place.
Mhm.
So
I'm glad that you're
next
doing
week
that.
I'll tell you how that worked out because
It may still be sitting there next Sunday, right?
Maybe all still neatly stacked
But you're
over
looking
it.
at it. But you're looking at it.
I'm going to do it. I am going to do it. And that brings us into what we are going to do tonight, because
Yeah.
all three of us have been very, very busy during the week with
Mm-hmm.
the NaNoWriMo challenge.
Yeah.
The
Challenge is a good word. Isn't it?
the writing challenge. And you know what I was thinking about, and I thought about it when those days were really, really challenging. Um, and I thought, are you really a writer, or are you more a poet, which is to me very different from
Right. It is.
the writing process. And I was really giving that a lot of thought, because it was challenging for me. And Ruth, I think about you, and Victoria, I thought about you as well, um, with this venture that we started on, this venture, this adventure that we've started on. That Ruth, you are a the consummate writer. You
Thank you.
to me, you are a
Thank you.
writer.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, you get a hold of that story and you write it, you dig it out, you pull it through, you pull those characters through, and you do it with such passion and enthusiasm. And I admire you
Thank
so
you.
for the writer, and the writer that is in you. And Miss Victoria, same thing. We keep you on track. Keep you on task. You produce some phenomenal, phenomenal things.
Mm.
And through this challenge, I think I'm discovering that I don't know where I really am on that spectrum, but I don't feel like that writer. And I think it's because this time I didn't start with the story. I started with the sentence.
Mm-hmm.
When I did the train, I knew that story. I knew those women. I knew where I wanted them to go. And this is kind of different. I won't say what it is. I'll just say it's different. so it's a little more challenging for me than I hoped it would be. And every day I look at the calendar and go, oh God, can I make it? Can I make
So
it?
let me ask you a question. Are you happy with the story that you're telling? Are you, how do you feel about it?
Some days I am,
Okay. Okay.
and some days not so much.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I think it's because, you know how we talk about starting with your outline and all of that. I think because I didn't start there. But it got interesting to me because, like Ruth was saying, when your thought process goes off to another place, I would write a sentence that said, I've got to come back to this. I've got to
Right.
come back to that. And I've added some characters that I didn't even see being there in the beginning or being important in the beginning. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that and and allowed them to tell their part in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Those days I was really happy,
Uh-huh.
because it was a surprise to me.
I think it sounds like it's a good story. What you think, Ruth?
No, I
Ruth?
do. I do. And I
It's gonna
think
be wonderful. I can't wait to read it.
I think on
I
I
can't
think honestly you're allowing your characters to write the story themselves. And that might be something that you feel, or maybe not feel. Something that you're being challenged with is just, if you're used to writing off the cuff,
Yeah.
or not used to writing off of an outline, maybe this is just a challenge for you to write off the cuff. You know,
Right.
I can't say I do that often, but if I needed to, could I? Could I let the characters tell their story and just follow wherever they go? It's because, I mean, honestly, these characters live in our brains rent free. So,
Right.
and
Right.
it's
Right.
that's Because if these characters that I've just written have been living up there, that's, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, so it's just, they're as real as anybody else, and we just need to give them the space to tell their story. And I want to go back to your first point, whether you're a poet or a writer, why can't you be both?
Right.
It's just a question of what space you're in. I gave the example one time, Isaac Asimov was I can't say he was the only writer, but he's one of the more infamous he was one of the more famous writers who wrote a book in every genre. At one point he
Wow.
was a science fiction writer. Another point he was nonfiction. Another point he was, something else. So, I think it's not to say that I am a poet, and I'm not, but to say that I am a poet, I limit myself to, okay, I can only write this. And we
Right.
know that you are a writer. If anyone hasn't read The Train, they need to go get it because
Yeah,
it is an excellent
exactly.
book and it is an excellent example of prose. It's an excellent example of a literary book, and you wrote that. So that makes you both, and that just means that sometimes you're a writer, sometimes you're a poet. I can say that I am not a poet, but I will say that I am a romance writer. I am a nonfiction writer. I'm about to be a fantasy writer. I'm about to be a historical writer. So,
Uh,
And you're about to love every one of those genres that you can write. I can tell
Wait,
it.
I
I
have a
can,
question. I have a question. When
yeah.
you wrote The Train, did you have an outline? Because, like you said, you knew where it wanted to go, and you knew what. You knew that immediately, so you did write from sort of an outline. Because
well, the
I don't
train,
have an outline. I know the beginning, and I kind of know the end, but everything in between is I don't have an outline. I don't know how I could outline something I don't know. I don't.
I knew the story. Now, I had not written an outline per se,
Mm-hmm.
but I knew the story. I knew the story that I wanted to tell from beginning to end. There weren't
Okay.
a lot of surprises for me in that, and I was glad because the train had started as a play,
Okay. Got you. Okay.
and
Okay.
I pretty much knew what I wanted to do. I knew what the conflicts were going to be. I knew, and there were still some things even in that surprised me as I was writing.
Okay.
This one was birthed off of the show that we did where Ruth was talking about getting that punch
First
line,
powerful sentence.
where
Yeah.
do we go from here sentence. And I got that sentence and I sent it to you guys, and you all were like, oh, yeah, this, go ahead and flush that thing out, and I sat down and thought, what is this going to be about?
You're welcome.
So,
Exactly. She, you know what? She's
and but
downplaying.
if
She's
I had
downplaying her talent. She's
if I had
downplaying
not,
it.
but if I had not written that sentence, I wouldn't have done the challenge.
Oh, and that's okay. That's
You
okay because you're going to look back at this.
And I
You,
wouldn't have done it because I didn't have that whole story in my head. But
Mhm.
as these characters are writing what I thought was going to be a love story, is turning out to be a bit of a mystery.
oh,
Love it. See?
So,
I love it. So I
I'm
love a
intrigued.
good mystery, yes.
Yeah, I love good love story, but I like good mystery too.
yep.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's that's what it's turning into. So
Well,
Yeah.
mine's
I
is
don't know that I don't know that it's going to take me another 14, 12 days to get it written, but I'm gonna hang in there and see what happens.
okay. I'm doing a little slower than I wanted to do. Have had some challenges, but I
Now,
am
are you doing your
committed.
509, Ultra?
No, I have completely kind of well, actually, I'm doing a little bit of both, a little bit of that,
Okay.
but this story has taken over my entire existence right now. It's like I'm compelled to write. I think about the characters all the time.
Mhm.
What is just going on? I gotta write this down. I think of something. I gotta pull it up and I gotta
Hmm.
add that to it. It's just it has taken a life of its own, and I share with you guys. It started as a dream. I dreamed the beginning part and I dreamed the ending, and then so I'm doing everything in the between. Right, I'm writing what happens from the beginning to the end, and it's amazing. and I saw this dream in Technicolor live, like, and I was experiencing it.
It
So
chills.
this book is different for me in that I'm not going to say the character is me. It's not. I'm not going to say that, but there are some experiences and feelings of myself that I am putting into the book. So
Mhm.
it's something. That's all I could say.
Well,
Whew.
I mean, there will always be a little bit of us in the characters we write.
Yeah.
So whether it's autobiographical or whether you just pick and choose certain things that happen in your life, because I can tell you in just about all of the characters that I've written, the female leads have a little bit of me in them. So,
Mhm.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
mhm,
And what I have found interesting is when I get to a point um, where the conversation is wrapping up or the dialogue is wrapping up, and this is the train was kind of back and forth with my characters and their dialogue, and this one isn't like that at all.
Okay.
In some places I've got that dialogue portion going on, and in the other place it is truly words on paper. It is truly me
Mm-hmm.
telling the story. So I don't know how that all is going to um, how all that is going to play out. But I really the discipline of it.
mhm,
Um, how do I want to say it? That's key.
Mm-hmm.
Key. If I can maintain the discipline of it and enjoy the discipline of it, because what I don't want to do is just drag through the process and be putting words on paper because I just have to put words on paper.
mm,
But when I'm really into the storytelling piece of it or the dialogue piece of it, it is interesting to me that when I get to a place where there's nothing left to be said, I'm just over my word count.
Oh wow. Wow.
And I thought that was, I'll get to a point I say, I just, this conversation is done. I just don't have anything else to say. And I'll do that word count and it will be a little over 800.
Wow.
mhm.
I've maintained that consistency. I think one day I did 7, but it's between uh, 8 and a little over 1,000.
1,000. Yep.
So I'm really happy about that. But I want to really, and I started off pretty good. I said I'm going to write 9 o'clock. That was going to be my right time. About that fourth day, girlfriend was getting sleepy, right? I had to change, I had to change my writing time because I was getting a little bit tired around at 9, 10 o'clock.
Mhm,
And I went on and I did that. But I want to look forward to that time. I
Yeah.
really be happy about, this is my time to write. This is my time
Yes.
to sit down and do that. I don't want to face it. That's it. I want to
Yeah.
embrace it. I don't want to face it. I don't want to look at it and say, "Oh God, I got to do something tonight on this thing," because
mhm.
even though it's garbage, like the quote that Ruth gave us, I still want I still want it to be the best garbage I can make it.
Right. I understand. I
I
understand.
want it to
I
be good
understand.
garbage.
Well, here's the thing. So, all right. So I told you guys that I was going to do 2 books because I
Right.
knew that the first one would be short. And in fact, I put myself down in the challenge for 20,000 words. And then I realized, oh no, I'm not going to make 20,000 words. So edited my goal and I was like, I'll do 12,000. I barely made 10,000. So I was like, okay, good. I know I will probably have about 12,000 when I get to the editing process.
Okay.
So I started on the second book, which was actually the second draft of the book that I wrote last year.
Okay.
And then quickly realized that I would not be able to handle that workload. So I said, I'm not going to look at this until later because I think I shared this with you guys, with our audience, and with you guys that I'm trying a new process. I'm writing a serialized novel.
Right.
Hmm.
So I began posting it. I'm up to chapter 3. I post every Tuesday night. So I have these chapters written out on Wednesday through the following Monday. I edit them. And I
Okay.
promise you that some of these chapters are garbage right now. But the thing is, they give me enough direction that I know where the story's going. I
Oh,
initially said,
okay.
because my brain works like this. I was like, I need a good even number, 25 chapters, and quickly realized, oh no, I'm going to have about 28 chapters. I might have like 30 before I'm done. But it's just as
Wow.
I'm going through it, I'm like, oh no, I just need to tell this part of the story in this chapter, and what I have written there is enough to guide me through it. So even if you have garbage, you're still at a good place, because again, you can't edit a blank page.
Right.
Well,
Only good at what you put there.
now, when I get all the garbage together at 30th of this month, what do I do with it? Do I
Uh,
start going back through it,
we
or
we didn't talk about that part. We didn't talk
over
about
to some,
oh, no, 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 and that is
or
a
do
very
I
good.
turn it over to some unsuspecting
Mm-mm.
person who feels sorry for me and let them
cut,
read part
cut
of
it out. Okay.
No, so this is what I learned in art class. You have to step away from it.
Okay.
So
it? No
come
problem.
November 30th, you put it down.
No problem.
Yeah, no, I didn't figure you would. You put it down and you walk away from it for at the
Okay.
very least a week.
Okay.
I usually give myself the month of December to just say, let me catch up on the other stuff. Let me look at this. Let
Okay.
me give myself enough space away from this so that I can look at it with fresh eyes.
Right, because it
So,
has been pretty intense.
yeah,
It's
it
intense.
is. And I've heard a lot of criticism for this challenge, because they're like, well, no book. I don't know if there have been some authors who, November 30th, they're like, oh, I'm done. And on December 1st, they're looking to
They're ready to
publish it. No
publish.
one should
Yeah.
do that.
No.
Yeah. So, but the point of the challenge is to get you in the habit of writing and to
Right.
give you something to edit. So, come December 1st, you're not looking at the book. Now
Okay.
whether you need 7 days or 30 days, you go back and look at it and go, okay, let's look at what I wrote down, and then see if it fits an outline, if it fits your story. And again, going back to what you were saying, Victoria, you have a beginning and an end. If you have a conflict and you know what that conflict is, that conflict will guide you through the story. So you know that it'll be conflict and resolution, and then in your case, happily ever after.
Hmm. Hmm.
For you, Andrea, it'll be, who done it, and maybe somebody's going to jail. So I don't know what the mystery
Oh,
is.
let me write that down. Jail.
I know that's right.
I hadn't thought about jail, but jail,
Oh,
jail time.
right. So, when you look at the book through fresh eyes, you can say, you'll see it a little differently. Because even, as I was putting together my outline, because I knew I had to have at least a first draft written before I started posting this. And truly, this is going to take me through, like, at this point, I'm through mid May before I finish posting this. So I am literally
Oh, okay.
writing every week. I'm editing every week. And sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it's, so like the chapter I'm working on now, there's just like this bulk right in the middle that I know I have to edit, but I have my little outline done and I just have to flesh it out. The next one, I know that I'm already rebuilding that, because I took part of what was supposed to be chapter 4 and put it in chapter 5, so now I have to rebuild chapter 5, but I know where the story's going. And
Got you.
luckily next week
Oh,
is Thanksgiving, so I'll have a little extra time to write. So, yeah,
well,
it's just part of the process. That's all it is.
Heather,
Sorry about that.
No worries.
we still here.
Yes.
Flipped around.
Yeah.
It's okay. Talk about me, my bookshelf.
I think it's I will be able to say at the end of it that it was a good journey,
Oh yeah.
and be proud of what I have done, um, regardless of where it goes from there.
Mhm.
It if I can just if I can make it every day, because coming into this evening, I was like, this will be the one day that I don't write, and I
Mhm.
just started feeling bad right then because I thought, no, I've done 19 days and I've done
Oh yeah.
every day, so I can't stop now. I want
No. And what was that story you shared with us the other day about you were gonna write it off as a no writing day? But what happened?
what did happen.
Oh, good.
I don't know.
We have a question. We have a question from our
Uh-huh.
Facebook
Go
for
ahead.
Angie O. She said, "Do the
Oh,
writings have to have characters?"
Nope. It's whatever story you want to tell. So right now we're all working on fiction.
Hmm.
And actually, the one that I wrote in the beginning of the month was nonfiction. So I am announcing it here. I'm putting a book version together of the show that we did, The Writer Within,
Yeah.
and all those points and everything together. So that did not have characters in it. It is more of it's not even a how to, it's just a guide, on how
guy.
to pull out the
Yeah. I
writer
love that,
within.
Ruth. I love
Hmm.
Yeah.
that.
So, it is whatever story you want to tell, whatever is burning in your heart. So we know that not all writers are nonfiction are fictional
Fiction.
writers.
Right.
Yeah. So, if that's not you, that is okay because there are plenty of other stories to tell. And when I say stories, it is whatever is burning in your heart to put on paper. So whether that's a memoir, whether that's a guide, it could be a Bible study, it could be um, anything. It's just, a question of, and I do believe that the process is the same for whatever it is you want to write. It's just the details will vary. So
Right.
could you use an outline? Absolutely. Again, I've talked about the unicorn, that person who can sit down and just write from the seat of their pants. God bless them. That's not me. So
Right.
for the rest of us who aren't unicorns, I highly recommend doing an outline.
Outline.
Highly
Mhm.
recommend, even allowing the story to tell itself because sometimes, yeah, I think we all had that parent or family member who was like, I remember when I was that age and had to walk up snow, uphill both ways and snowstorm and that kind of stuff. The story kept growing, the story kept telling itself. So
And she says, I am a unicorn.
see, look, we are in the presence of greatness. So if you don't believe in magic, there you go.
I don't know. I found that my characters, when I in my head, I'm thinking it's going one way, but as I'm writing again, that thing, this doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make, it got to be believable. So it
Yeah.
would make sense for A to say this to B, And I had a problem with the dialogue piece.
Hmm.
It was like, okay, I know a conversation needs to be had. You can't keep writing it. Well, you could, I guess. She said, and he did, and they did, or whatever. They did, he did, and then they did. But it made sense to have a conversation in the midst of the
Hmm.
they did, and they're on their way to,
Hmm.
And so I'm just writing it down. He said, he said, he said, and I
Hmm.
think in the editing,
Hmm.
and I do have a couple of places where he quit because it was something funny or being sarcastic or whispered or whatever. But it called for that. But and I'm trying not to get caught up on the he said. Just say it. And when I go back and edit, it'll come in to play
Hmm.
what. But then and I looked at some books that it does say he said, she said.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, no, and those are really noticeable, and that's the thing that I'm discovering is there's no perfect writer out there. Even like J.K. Rowling, who wrote the Harry Potter series.
Right.
I went ahead and read all 7 books, but that's one thing I noticed about her is that she
Hmm.
kept going. He said, he said, he said, and it was just one right after the other, and she would repeat words, and I'm like maybe that is her creative choice, but again, there's no perfect writer out there.
Right.
Did
Right.
you say you read all 7?
Yes, I did.
I've read them too, and it didn't take away from the story for me.
Mm-mm,
It
mm-mm.
didn't take away from the story at all. I read them.
Yeah,
I believe I have all of them because I
yeah.
have children who read it, and I was like,
Those are
I
rather
want to read.
large books, aren't they not?
That's what I was waiting for.
One of them is holding up.
About a 200 pager. We're talking
No, you're talking about 300-400 pages, and the
that's,
last one I'm pretty sure was longer
I
than
can
that.
show
like
it to you, but one of them is holding up my computer right
Oh,
now, so I don't want to take it.
don't move around too much because you don't
are,
want anything to
are
fall apart.
I'm gonna
so
just leave it right there. But I got them
Yeah,
all and read them because I was curious. My kids was wanted to read them out, and they were reading them. I was like, well, let me read, see what they reading, and I enjoyed them. I
yeah,
did.
yeah. And again, it might be more of a creative choice, and it might work. You might have a span of he said, she said, he said, she said. But then again, sometimes he quipped or he remarked, he spoke.
Yes, and I said
You'll
after
you'll
user
see.
responded, he
Yes,
responded,
yeah,
or yeah.
you'll see where that works.
well. I tell you what, this we always find something interesting to say and something that I think will help our listeners out there. And this has definitely been one of those programs tonight.
Yeah.
It was a good update. We're about halfway through, so we're pretty much right on schedule with it.
Well, I'm
Uh
gonna tell y'all, I'm a little challenged tonight. I have a 5 a.m. flight, right? I haven't packed yet,
oh.
Look,
Well,
look, look, look.
and I haven't written yet today either. Oh
No, oh look, you made use of tools last night, alternate tools to write. So now you can start dictating, maybe.
dictating as I pack.
You do whatever you need to do. You got about what, 4 hours left in the day?
I got to do something, y'all. I got to do
you
something.
gotta you're going to pack. This is I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed the information that we have exchanged tonight, and I think that our listeners have as well. We got to discover that Angie is a unicorn, that just
Yes,
Yes.
that's right.
outlines definitely important information to know. Whatever you can glean from what we go through
Yes.
as writers, as poets, as authors, whatever, we're glad to share the information with you. So Victoria needs to pack. Ruth, I don't know what your next thing is going to be. Whether have you written today already?
No, I actually need to do
Okay,
that.
so Ruth's got
Oh
to write.
boy,
I've got a character that apparently I need to send to jail.
jail.
There we go.
So we all have our assignments. But look, guys, thank you so much for being with us tonight. We hope we have said something that will inspire you or encourage you in your writing journey. Thank you for being here again and again. We are so much appreciated. And we will be doing our replay of this show on Saturday evening at 7 o'clock. So if you know a writer or another unicorn that you would like to have join us on our program, be sure to tell them all about it. And Ruth, where can they find us? You always tell us every week.
Of course. So we are on social media. We're also on YouTube. If you want find us, go ahead and look for Authors Up Show. That is our handle across the board. We are also available on podcasts. So if you are that type of person who just likes to listen while you're driving, while you're working out, you can download us from wherever you get your podcasts. Our show uploads to YouTube and to a podcast midweek. So if you're not able to come back on Saturday, but if you still want to listen or you want to share it with anybody, by Wednesday, you can hear us then. If you have any questions about the show, if you want to become a guest or want to inquire about becoming a guest, you can email us at authorsup@gmail.com.
All right, you get it in, girl. You get it in.
Yes.
So that is it for us tonight. Victoria, do you have any closing words? I don't want to
I
leave you
just want to tell everybody to enjoy the holidays. I know again that it is not sometimes the most joyous for some people, as everybody is celebrating. There are those of us who, get a little downhearted during the holidays as we remember those who are no longer with us, and it can be overwhelming. So I encourage you to be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Just know that you're not alone. It may feel like you're alone, but you are not alone. And most of all, God loves you, and so do we. And we're praying for you, and it's going to be okay.
well said. Well said. And
Mhm.
that's it for us for tonight. You never know what's going to happen on Authors Up. We never know what's going to happen on
Yeah, no, we
Authors
don't. We do
Apparently, we
not.
don't.
We do
So
not.
please come back and join us. We are here every Sunday evening at 7 p.m., giving you the best that we can. This is your forum for authors by authors, and we're so very glad that you decided to spend some time with us. So that's it for us for tonight. Be sure to come back. Put us on your calendar so you won't forget about us. And come back next week, 7 p.m. We will be right here for another episode of Authors Up. Good
Good
night,
night.
everybody. Have an
Good night,
Good
absolutely
Bronze
night.
Girls.
wonderful week.
Happy Thanksgiving.